can say this much with certainty. Remote start coming out of Planet Fitness after an hour on the treadmill. It's cold as a mofo. It's like 30-something degrees, 20-something degrees out. To get into the car and it's already warm. Oh my gosh. I think if I knew what I was missing out on, I may have upgraded for the Camry a little bit earlier. But either way, just a little creature comfort. Plan for today is to get uncomfortable. What I want is an uncomfortable level of effort on these sets of arms. And I don't know, for me, arm days have been getting a little I don't know, because I'm balancing a few different ideas which are playing into each other into how this arm day is going to go. So one is I want to finish the arm day with a really freaky pump. I want to be completely pumped at the end of it. So that means that I want to do, or I've got at least a part of me that wants to do a superset workout. All tricep, bicep, push down, curl, bicep bias pull down, rope extension, back and forth like that. So that by the end, and I say, okay, I just did 7, maybe 8 of those combination sets. Well, shit, I'm done. I cooked my arms well enough. I'm ready to pose down. Let's go see how they look. But the other side of me kind of thinks that by splitting my attention, by doing a set of curls and a set of push downs back to back, every set without much rest in between, kind of doing like tricep set, bicep set, rest. Tricep set, bicep set, rest. Like by doing it like that, I feel like I'm splitting my attention and I'm not giving each one like the amount of focus that it really deserves, So those are kind of my conflicting ideas. And I think just saying that out loud is making me realize what I actually want to do. And that's going to be, let's do all buys first and then all tries. Let's buy it before we try it and really go for it. Typically, off season, I'm thinking triceps first, biceps second. Part of my logic is it just feels better. And then the other part is like, okay, I want my triceps are lagging relatively to my biceps, so I want to hit them first, really get after it with my full energy and attention, and then finish with biceps afterward. But yeah, if I had to pick one in terms of making my arms look more impressive, pumped, it's going to be triceps. A big tricep pump is typically going to increase your arm circumference a little bit more than a big bicep pump, right? I mean, it's literally in the name. Bi, 2, try, 3, right? 3 is bigger than 2. And if you've ever really like felt your long head of your tricep or kind of, and this is something you should just kind of do anyway. I was talking to a guy a couple days ago on Planet. I just finished cardio and he was asking, and this is, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but sometimes I'll talk to guys and they just kind of want to ask like some kind of question, like maybe they've seen a couple Sam clips, but other times I get a question and I'm like, okay, this guy really wants a real answer. Like that was a very good, the fact that you even asked that question means that I know you're interested and like you're actually really engaged. So the way that he said this was just really cool. He's talking about like chest activation and like, okay, what should I really be doing to feel it? Like I keep getting shoulders, I keep getting triceps, like I want to feel my chest in presses. That was kind of the basic of the question. And it's, the more you do it, the better you get at it, of course. But just have now I can kind of sit here, like there's all sorts of videos that guys are like, they're like doing weird like wave flexes because they think it's cool. But you should have a good grasp of like where you've got muscle, where it ties in, what it's doing, what it feels like to flex it specifically. Like even now I can like just kind of flex my lats a little bit and like my hamstring or quad or whatever, which is like obviously basic. Of course you can move your own body, but if you get a feel for like what's going on where, you can kind of put your mind into the muscle itself as you're doing sets, or at least like imagine it, right? Like as I'm doing a cable press, I'm not exactly thinking, okay, hands together, like I'm not really putting my mind into my hands. I'm trying to feel my chest pull my arms together if you sort of catch me. So with triceps, same thing. I'm not trying to push with the bottom of my hands on the rope. I'm trying to pull my arm around itself from my tricep, you know? So even though the end result is the same, doing the rep, I think the closer you can get to the kind of like a direct connection with what you're really trying to hit is going to help. But what I was kind of saying was, you've got your long head, you've got your medial head. There's kind of like some tricep that's sort of hidden underneath the other two parts. Then you get the horseshoe, kind of the, like, we all know the shape of a tricep, right? But there's a lot of meat back there. An amount that often I think gets overlooked because biceps are so classic. You know, if you tell somebody to list a muscle, anybody in the world, they're probably going to say biceps first. Maybe chest, maybe shoulders, but biceps is going to be the front runner. So biceps get a lot of love, you know, not undeservingly, right? But I think triceps, they need some as well, you know. And if you actually want to kind of fill out shirts, and I'm going to end up saying this today in the pose down, because by the time I finish biceps and the tricep section of this lift, well, at the end of it, my biceps aren't going to be so pumped, but my triceps will be. And if you ever hit a lat spread with a tricep pump, you should notice you're going to end up looking a bit wider and just kind of have like a cooler, sharper look. Because I mean, think right here, where's the widest muscle in this lat spread? You might think lats, not a bad thought to have, but really the furthest one out, not including your elbow, is going to be your triceps, right? Your triceps are really kind of bubbling over your shoulders. So that's I think that'll be good today. So I'm going to do all biceps, however many sets that ends up being. Maybe do some drop sets, some squeezing, supersets, I don't even know. We'll see what happens when we kind of get in there. And then for tries, same deal, same freaking deal. One thing I've noticed is I'm not going so heavy with overhead movements on triceps, because dieting, my elbows are a little more, not tender, but they can be more sensitive. So if I'm not eating a crazy amount of freaking food every day, maybe I shouldn't try to skull crush half my body weight and absolutely obliterate this, you know, just bundle of tendons, because, you know, it just seems kind of silly, right? But we'll see. I'll kind of go through a couple. Rope extensions, almost guaranteed to be on the list. Single arm triceps back and forth, likely. Easy bar pushdowns, likely. Overhead extensions, potentially. Pumped, 100% freaking certain. So I think let's just stop talking about it and go make this freaking lift happen. There we go. All right. Yeah. Let's start with some dumbbell curls. Not even crazy, right? We're not doing the 70s. We're not doing the freaking 80s. Let's do 45s. So since it's a little bit lighter, like I could do heavier curls, what I'm going to change is I'm going to really make sure I do them well. And I think a heavy set is still good. You can do heavy reps well, but I mean, actually hold, burn, get to the top of the range of motion, and even have a little extra squeeze. 2 sets can look identical, me next to a clone of myself, but if that version just does the reps, and then every time I get to the top of one, I give it a little extra something, this version will do better. All right. Okay. Whew. Let's do a few more like that. I feel like it's easier to burn out doing both at once, but I like alternating. So just combine the two. But yeah, a few more of these. Go. Okay. Yeah, let's just keep doing these. Holy shit. Okay. All right. Yeah. So at 3 sets into these, I've made a decision. I mean, this is going to be it. I'm just going to do 3 more, maybe 4 more sets of these 45s, and that's going to be all. And why I can say that and not feel like I'm missing out is I feel like I'm hitting my whole bicep well, and also I haven't really done a workout that was just basic dumbbells for a while, right? It's the trait of the fool to value complexity over simplicity, with no context, of course. But yeah, let's just keep spamming these, man. This is perfect. Okay. Yeah, let's keep going. 2 more. And then triceps they're ready to get worked on, it's for sure. Yeah. 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 Okay. All right. Yeah, that's all. Let's get some triceps started now. Lift 50% of the way there. All right. Nothing too crazy. The rope with only It's kind of dark in here, but only 130 pounds on the stack, which very doable, right? I'm not struggling just to even do a rep. But like I was talking about in the car, I want every rep to be a struggle, mainly at the bottom. So of course I want a full stretch up top, which I have only just over like the last year-ish really started to value. And then at the bottom, I want to feel like I'm bending my arms backward straight out of The Exorcist, as though they're going further than they can really go. You know, they don't, but that's what I'm kind of imagining. So, not the most intense set looking, but I'm really going to try to make them burn. Same shit. Let's run that up for as many as, well, as many as feel good. Okay. Two more of these. Two more of those, I think. That'll change it up. I lied. Two more of those. Two more of those. Yeah, one more and then I'll decide what I want to finish with. But we're almost freaking done. I only did 2 movements. We'll see. We'll freaking see in a second. All right, you know what? I fucking lied. One more, I'm not even recording. I'm just gonna do a couple more just for me. Yeah, I'll still clip it. One more rope. We're done. Dumbbell curls in the rope. That's the theme for today. All right, so while I'm doing that set of curls over there, I'll also do just a few more light squeezing reps, and then we can pose down. That's good. Yeah, just a little sprinkle on top. But let's find. All right, let me actually go down all the way to. There we go. 5.6, if that number means anything to you. But I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty freaking pumped after just some dumbbell curls and some rope extension. Now, is that crazy? I really don't think so, because what do I really want right now, especially? Not even in training in general, but right now, all I want is to stimulate the targeted muscle I'm hitting, not hurt myself in the process, get a pump. That's kind of all I need, So really, what's better? I mean, what did I do? Was that 6 or another number higher than 6 sets of buys? It was definitely about 6 sets of those tricep rope extensions. Would 3 movements with 2 sets of each be better? Would it be the same? It would definitely be different. But I haven't done a 1 movement arm day for a while, or really a 1 movement lift for a while. So I don't mind throwing it in, Not a freaking problem whatsoever. But let's see how we're looking for this little side profile. All my pose downs have been like top-down lighting, which really makes you look extra just grainy and kind of freaky and shows off all your cuts and everything. But, let's try one a little more on the side. But holy shit. Okay. Now that is just fucking nuts for me. Oh my gosh. All right, that wasn't going to be the starting pose, but now it definitely is. Oh man. All right, let's hit some real ones. But oh my goodness, let me give me just a touch of a turn to the side. But yeah, ab wise, this is definitely the freakiest I've ever seen it. And I'm not even like maximum diced, but look at this. I've got like freaking ab veins creeping up all the way from the bottom. And like this, never before seen for me. Let me see if I can get the lighting a little freakier and really pop them out. That's a good sign. So what that's telling me is I'm getting leaner than ever, and the cardio that I've been clocking has been freaking working. All right. So I think that ends it there for this arm day. I still got to go do my 45. I did an hour on the treadmill last night just because I was feeling myself. But 45 minutes in the morning, or post-training, and then 45 minutes a night, 130-ish beats a minute heart rate. Not super intense or anything. It has been working. But let's just cut to the car, get a little post-lift discussion. There we go. Yeah, this should look a little bit better. There's when it comes to cameras, there's like a couple of main points about how it makes stuff look. Like the reason a camera is going to look cooler than a phone is because a camera has all this glass which like takes light, bends it around a zillion ways, and then focuses it back in. And it's a big ass, like, couple pound thing. Your phone is just this tiny little something or other, right? So the camera's always going to look cooler. But I had to be shooting it freaking like 1/1000 shutter speed because I didn't have an ND for this one. So if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying. If you don't sweat it. Do not freaking sweat it at all. But actually, shit. Let me do a little battery swap. It's about to die. Yeah, there we go. Quick with it. But yeah, that was good. That was looking back, I kind of messed up. Sometimes I think that lighting from the side window is good. It never ends up being. It's always kind of weird, but for me at least, to my eye, that was freaking sweet. So don't forget, this is also flat too. This is flat weight. Like, I'm not running around full of freaking carbs. So 47 days out now. Yeah, man. 7 times. Yeah, 6.5 weeks ish. Really, only I'd say 6 weeks of productive dieting left. Maybe even 5. And then those last 2 weeks pre-show is kind of just coasting in. There's not much that's going to happen. You know, I keep saying this, and I'm not saying it like a bad thing or that I'm like nervous about it. Like, I'm feeling pretty freaking confident. But when it comes to, you know, this last couple of days before showtime, nothing's going to change. You know, by then I have dieted. I'm done. There's no change in anything. I'm not going to look any cooler, any better, any worse, really. Like, I'm not going to mess up right at the end. But if you've got a goal like that where you're actually going to do a prep and do a show, there is no last minute cram. There is no last minute like, shit, man, I'm going to make this happen. And not even to the level of like a bodybuilding show, but even just general fat loss. Like, let's say, dude, you know what? This year, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to get peeled. I'm going to XYZ, and then I'm going to get back into these pants that I've had in the closet that don't fit anymore, and it's going to be freaking sweet, which it certainly would be, right? But, you know, what's going to happen is, it's January, what day is today? Oh, January, come on. Does it not show me what's the point if it, yeah, there we go. January 18th, right? 1 month is already more than halfway over out of the year. I mean, what? New Year's, I haven't even seen a New Year's resolution post for the last couple of days on any social media channel. So we're kind of, it's over, it's done. You know, the week of New Year's New Me hype, over. It's over with. There's small pockets, like, you know, it's like that group of people that moved underground during the Matrix, and like they're fighting their resistance. Like, there's guys where they actually are still getting after it, and they're not going to slow down this year, and they're going to keep up that momentum and make their shit happen. Badass. But for the most part, everybody else, you know, kind of what we'd call those who are easily influenced by just the wave of a little bit of motivation and then get back into their regular routine, they've had enough. You know, they're like, they just don't get it, right? So that's where, how I look at it in terms of cardio and calories and training in general, and like getting into pretty decent shape. And obviously I haven't made like a huge fat loss transformation, but I've seen and gotten to talk to people who have for long enough, like especially exposed to these. I get to see these transformation photos, and like, I was here 3 years ago, now I'm here. Like, I get to see just these crazy stories, and no one who does it, no one who gets after it, they never really lose that ability. You know, they don't rebound back to their old habits, or at least not in the same way. Because if you've ever really gotten into calorie tracking and dieting and training, let's say you do fall off the wagon, or whatever the phrase is, you still know how to do it. You still know that you can get after it. You know that you can get back to what you're aiming for. But, you know, then it's a different situation of like, maybe a lot of the time becomes a big constraint, which is very reasonable. You know, it's still an excuse, of course, but it is a reason. You know, like, life is kind of freaking hard. So that's not the most unreasonable excuse there is, of course. But once you see it, and once you've done it, and once you've achieved a certain like amount of just results or changes, and especially once, you know, people outside of just your own mind start to comment on it, and they talk to you and they say, dude, are you really just like, man, you've been working out? Like I said this a couple days ago, like, have you been working out, man? Have you been, man, I should start working. Or they hit you, obviously you've been working out, and they hit you with, yeah, I should kind of start going to the gym again a little bit more. Like, it's not even a question that you've been working out, for sure. Like, it's a very strong feeling. And once you get that, like, once you kind of catch the bug like that, you just don't stop. You know, like you've seen the Matrix, you've seen the freaking code, you felt the force, and now you see it all around you. You know, so what I end up seeing a little bit is just, you know, characters that aren't doing it. You know, and I'm not trying to say this in a judgmental sort of whatever. Like, you know, you're you, I'm me. I'm not your dad. Do whatever the hell you want. But you just kind of start to recognize patterns like that. So there's definitely an in crowd of those who are locked in, and it turns into, which I definitely do not want to be a part of. Like, I don't want to give off the idea that I'm saying, yeah, I'm in the in crowd of locking in and like being all into fitness and everything, bro. If you're not, sucks for you. Like that's not what I'm trying to say, because I think for the most part, anybody who's at least kind of just cool or nice and also into the gym, they want more people in the gym. They want people coming in and killing it. They want people making their own results because they know what it's like. You know, it's I guess this isn't a really good example, but it's like in Pluribus. Once you start working out, it's like you catch the virus, and you're like, you want everybody else to do it too. That's kind of a, but you know, not to the same level of like a freaking hive mind. But just, you know, something to keep in mind. So if you know you're on track, you know you're going to keep going, gym man, just make it happen. Just make it happen. And then after, you know, after a while, you'll, as long as you're in the same city and you go to the same gyms, you'll start to see the same people. You start to realize that there is, you know, there's kind of a crowd of regulars. Maybe you start talking to them a little more. It just gets more fun. You know, the more you do it, the better you get at it. I think the more fun you have with it, and then the more you're going to want to do it in the first place. Or I guess it'd be in the second place. And then you just keep spiraling forward like that. You know, so that's my take on the matter. But for January 18th, 47 days away from the Arnold Columbus, and then a few more weeks away from the Arnold UK, which isn't really adding much difficulty. Like, all I'm going to do is stay lean for a few weeks and then do that show over there, as long as I feel good. Like, if I get hit with some kind of crazy sickness or something, well, then I'd have to pull out of that one. I mean, if I got hit with a crazy sickness like 2 weeks before the Arnold, I guess I'd have to pull out of that one too. That is certainly not the plan, but you know, sometimes it's a little hard to predict what might happen in between shows like that. But yeah, that's the plan. And to do 2-in-1 diet is perfect. I'm already lean. I'm already ready. So it's I think it's going to be pretty fun. That'll be the first international bodybuilding debut for Mr. Sam. I'm excited about it. But yeah, overall, feeling very good. The sun's shining. I'm headed to Planet Fitness to hit some cardio, just so there's people around. Doing cardio alone, like in the basement, or even just in that gym once I get that bike fixed, it gets a little depressing. And not depressing in the sense of like I'm doing it and like I'm getting some kind of feeling, but just like it's so repetitive. There's no movement. There's no other outside energy. Like cardio in the gym, it's almost easier to do because like you're in the place where that is to be done. You know, like you're walking into the dojo, you're getting your shoes off, you're putting your gi on, you're like, all right, you're already in that mode. I would assume, you know, that's not from experience. But yeah, 45 minutes. I'll just do the treadmill. I need to get tennis shoes if I'm going to keep doing the treadmill like this, because I'm doing 3 miles an hour, 45 minutes, about 2 point something miles, a little bit, and that's twice. So that's about 4.5 miles a day for the next 60, yeah, for the next 50 days minimum. I'm going to tone back cardio the few days before the show, but yeah, it's like, fuck man, it's like 200 miles. 200 miles in Converse isn't going to feel that good on my feet, so maybe that'll be a pickup for later today. Do a little pit stop somewhere. But yeah, either way, go get my cardio done, and I'll see you for some hamstrings tomorrow. So not the flashiest lift. Maybe I'll throw some shoulders in there too. I don't know. We'll see how we feel then. But either way, I'll see you for that.